Some heroes save the world. Others save the people they love. Thorfinn Karlsefni. He wasn't a hero at all. He was a weapon, a child sharpened into a blade, aimed at one man's heart. For over a decade, he lived only to kill, and when that purpose was stolen from him, all that remained was a hollow shadow. This is not just another anime protagonist. This is the darkest led character you've never heard of, and the only one who truly escaped hell without drawing his sword. Anime is filled with revenge stories, Eren Yeager, Light Yagami, Guts, but Thorfinn's revenge isn't about righteous justice or world-changing ambition. It's small, personal, ugly, and that's what makes it so real. Vinland Saga doesn't glorify revenge. It dismantles it. We don't just watch Thorfinn's enemies die. We watch him die inside, piece by piece, until there's nothing left. You're not cheering for his victories. You're watching for the moment he breaks. And when that break finally comes, it's not explosive. It's quiet. That's the brilliance of his story. The loudest moment is silence. Before the blade, there was snow. Thorfinn's childhood in Iceland was peaceful, running through the frost with his sister Ylva, listening to tales of Vinland from the wanderer Leif Erikson. His father Thors was a giant in every sense, a legendary warrior who walked away from killing to build a life of peace. To young Thorfinn, his father was unstoppable, but when war came knocking, Thors had no choice but to face it again. Thorfinn hid aboard his ship, thinking he'd watch his father win a glorious battle. Instead, he saw something no child should see, his father refusing to kill, and then giving his life to protect his crew. His last words weren't about vengeance. They were about peace. But for a boy whose heart had just been torn out, peace was meaningless. The man who killed Thors was Askeladd, a cunning, dangerous mercenary leader with a smile as sharp as his sword. Thorfinn swore to kill him, but Askeladd didn't fear the boy. He used him. Thorfinn became part of his crew, fighting brutal battles across Europe just to earn the right to duel him. Every victory on the battlefield bought him one more chance. Every loss sent him back into the dirt, humiliated. Years passed. The boy became a killer. But here's the tragedy. Askeladd became something like a twisted father figure. He taught Thorfinn how to fight, survive, and read the world, all while being the man Thorfinn hated most. Thorfinn's life was trapped in a loop. Fight, duel, lose, repeat. He didn't realize that even if he won, there'd be nothing left of him to save. In the royal court of Denmark, everything unraveled. Prince Canute, once timid, seized power. Askeladd, backed into a corner, made his final move, killing the king himself. In that chaos, Canute cut Askeladd down, just like that. The man Thorfinn lived to kill was gone, and Thorfinn had no part in it. There was no satisfaction, no release, just emptiness. All those years, all that blood, for nothing. In a blind rage, Thorfinn attacked Canute and was thrown into chains. The blade that defined his life was gone, and he had no idea how to live without it. Sold into slavery, Thorfinn became a farmhand. He didn't speak, didn't dream, didn't fight. And then came Einar, a fellow slave, a man who'd also lost everything. But Einar hadn't lost himself. He still believed in kindness, in hope. At first, Thorfinn couldn't understand it, but working the fields together, sharing food, talking under the stars, Thorfinn began to feel the frost inside him thaw. He remembered his father's words. He remembered Vinland, the place untouched by war. And for the first time in years, he wanted something again. Thorfinn swore an oath to never hurt another soul. in the Viking Age, where strength was everything, that was the most dangerous vow a man could make. But this wasn't weakness. It was defiance. Thorfinn's new battle wasn't against men. It was against the world's endless cycle of violence, and against himself, the boy who once lived for blood. Thorfinn is the darkest anime protagonist because his story shows how far a person can fall and still climb back up. He lived in blood for half his life and still found the strength to put the sword down. In a way, that makes him the lightest too. He's proof that even in the coldest winter, spring can come. His saga isn't over, but every step toward Vinland is a step away from the boy who once knew nothing but revenge. Thorfinn's story isn't just about Vikings. It's about us. About losing yourself and finding the courage to begin again. What makes Thorfinn unique isn't just what he lost, it's what he carries. Even when he's free from Askeladd, free from the battlefield, he still wakes up screaming in the night. Because memory is a battlefield of its own. Every face he cut down, every life he ended, every duel he lost. They don't vanish when the fighting ends, they haunt him. And unlike most anime protagonists, there's no easy redemption arc here. Thorfinn doesn't believe he deserves peace. That's why his struggle matters. Because real healing is not a straight line. It's a war without a finish line. Fans often compare Thorfinn to Guts from Berserk or Eren from Attack on Titan. But here's the truth. Thorfinn is something completely different. Guts fights against the world's cruelty, carving his way through demons and men alike. Eren seeks to rewrite the world itself, even if it means destroying everything. Thorfinn. He refuses to play the game entirely. His rebellion isn't about swinging harder. It's about dropping the sword altogether. In a genre obsessed with power-ups, transformations, and final battles, Thorfinn's true weapon is restraint. That's what makes his story so dangerous and so inspiring. Strength in Vinland Saga isn't about who can kill the fastest. It's about who can resist the cycle. Thors was the strongest because he threw away violence. Askeladd was the strongest because he bent kingdoms to his will. Canute was the strongest because he learned to rule. And Thorfinn? His strength is choosing not to kill, even when he could. That's a paradox few anime dare to explore, because it asks a question we're not used to hearing. What if the bravest thing you could do is nothing at all? So what is Vinland? It isn't just a place across the sea, it's an idea. For Leif, it was discovery. For Thors, it was peace. For Thorfinn, it became redemption. A land untouched by war, where children wouldn't have to hold knives before they held books. Every character in Vinland Saga is chasing something. But Thorfinn's dream isn't just for himself. It's for every soul crushed under the weight of endless war. And that's what makes it so powerful. You might think this is just a Viking tale, swords, shields, and blood on the snow. But Vinland Saga is more modern than it looked. Because who hasn't felt trapped in a cycle? Who hasn't chased something, only to realize it leaves you empty? Thorfinn's story is about what happens after the revenge, after the anger, after the hate. It's about asking the hardest question of all. If I'm not defined by my pain anymore, then who am I? That's why Thorfinn matters. Not just as a character, but as a mirror. Every anime fan remembers the hero's final battle. But Thorfinn's legacy won't be carved in blood. It will be remembered in the silence of a man walking away from the battlefield and toward something better. That's not weakness. That's not cowardice. That's a new kind of strength. And that's why Thorfinn Karlsefni isn't just the darkest anime protagonist. He's the one who proves there's light after darkness. Everything in Thorfinn's journey leads back to the words of his father, Thors. You have no enemies. No one has any enemies. That single truth shattered the cycle of vengeance and became the heartbeat of Vinland Saga itself. If those words struck you the way they struck Thorfinn, then you already know this story is more than anime. It's a lesson in what it means to live. So tell me, what does "you have no enemies" mean to you? Comment below. Leave a like if Thor's wisdom still gives you chills, and subscribe, because this is only the beginning of the legends we'll uncover together.